Hey everyone, good afternoon. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Solving Your Stress mini-series. I am Sam, your gracious host, and we are live here again every Monday. Bring you another question that you submitted, and we're discussing things like general stress, PTS, anything that causes stress, and coming up with solutions that are best for you, and solutions that can be applied in any arena when it comes to stress. And like I always start out with talking about the best way to handle any sort of stress once you feel it, and you can feel it in different areas of your body. For me, the stress is kind of right here, and that's where I feel it. And so what I do is I take a moment to detach, and then I prioritize and I execute. And what that means is detach from the stress. When I feel it, I move away from it. And sometimes I go for a walk, depending on what it is. Sometimes it's just sitting for a second, taking a couple of deep breaths. So that's the detach. That's to prioritize. Look at what is in front of you, what is the source of your stress, and do the next one thing. The next one thing, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 group of things, the next one thing. So that is prioritize and execute. Works beautifully every single time. And this week's question is it possible to be stress-free? Now, last week I talked about the two forms of stress. The one that we think about most, which is the negative form of stress, or distress, which can cause all sorts of health problems, can cause burnout, cause you to be tired all the time. That's what we think about when we think about stress. But there's a good form of stress called eustress, and that is when you find yourself being challenged with a situation that's actually pushing you to dig in and solve that situation, whatever it may be, and you may find yourself working on it, and time will go by and you may not even realize it. So that is the good form of stress, or eustress. So can we ever be without stress in our lives? I want to first answer that with a resounding no, but then break it down even further to say, can we ever be without distress in our lives? And I think the answer to that is it depends. And it depends how serious you are about combating and dealing with the stresses that come to you on every day. Now, not the eustress. The eustress we like. Again, that's positive stress. We're talking de-stress here. We're talking distress here, where you want to de-stress. We're talking distress, the negative form of stress. So can we ever be without it? I think it all comes down to the way that we choose to approach it. Do we react to it? Do become angry, become snappy at people, and then end up regretting what we did? And I've been there, so I totally understand that. Or do we come more present to it, where we can formulate a response, and a proper response to the distress? And again, it's a choice, and I believe we all have the power to do that. And for me, in my journey with post-traumatic stress, I had to learn to do that. It was a matter of life and death that I take that negative form, that distress, and turn it into a positive. So for me, breathing techniques. There's tons of different deep breathing techniques. You can go on YouTube and find it. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, so and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So I am not saying, this is not coming from Sam medical stuff. I'm sharing with you my personal journey with dealing with stress. And the first thing is deep breathing exercises. Second thing, when things are really bad, like my belief in myself is challenged, and I go back to my faith. I take a deep dive into belief, and I'll either read something or look at some quotes that I've written down, something that is going to remind me of my greatness and my purpose that I was put on this earth to do. And that always helps. Movement, getting out and taking a walk, physically removing yourself from a stressful environment. Sometimes you want to throw your computer out the window. Remove yourself from it. Take a breath. Take time to get away from the thing that is causing you stress, and then with a clear head come back. Because when we do that, we tap into different areas of our brain, the parts that allow us that reasoning. So we come back with an appropriate response instead of staying in that fly off the handle, crazy rage that we've all been in. Now, maybe you're saying, okay, Sam, I'm in a meeting. I can't say, I'm leaving, I'll be back, because it's just one thing after the next. It's causing you to feel like your blood's going to boil. In that meeting, push back from the table. You don't have to make it so, dramatic, push back, like you're going to leave, but just detach, push yourself back, and get your breathing centered. Look at what is going on. It's already making you feel bad. So what can you do right there to help yourself get refocused and tackling what the real problem is? And when you can remove yourself from the situation, it's almost like you're not hearing what's going on. You can formulate, I promise you, a proper response. And it's going to take practice, because it's not like one and done. That's not how life is. When you're challenged with the hard stuff and you're learning a new skill, you've got to take the time. You've got to be patient with yourself in order to integrate that. So there's an example if you can't physically leave. There's other ways that you can handle it. Stress causes fear. And I talked about this to a lot of audiences around the United States. When we're faced with fear, we've got two choices: to face everything and run. To forget everything and run, or we can face everything and rise. And when we choose to face everything and rise, that's where courage comes from. And courage is not always running into a burning building when others are running out. Courage is a muscle, just like at the gym. It takes work. But what I can promise you is that fear will go down. So you'll lessen your fear. You'll stay in that courageous mode, and you will continue to build confidence as well. So when the next stressful or fearful situation comes up, you're like, I got this. We are good. So with that, just a recap, can we ever live without stress? Again, short answer, no. We want that eustress. We want to limit the distress that we feel, and whether that's through a belief exercise, breathing techniques, movement, like I said, go exercise or walk around. Detach, prioritize, and execute. Works beautifully every single time. Just try it. And again, you've got to be patient with yourself. It takes practice to integrate the new things, and dealing with stress in your life. If you let it get to a certain point, you're like, woo! We want to keep it minimized. So while we'll always have some form of stress, there's a lot that we can do. If this video was helpful, just give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me something, comment. Let me know your question, because we're going to keep doing this every week on Mondays. So let me know your question so we can answer it. And share this video, because somebody that you know might grab onto the tools that I just talked about and create some ways to kind of deal with the distress in their life and bring it down. So until next time, everybody, this is Sam, Solving Your Stress mini-series every Monday here, during the lunch hour. Come to you live, answer the questions. Hit me up on Facebook. You can visit my website, SamanthaHorwitz.com. And you can also email me, sam@SamanthaHorwitz.com. I am here. We are doing awesome things in this community. We are solving your stress. So until next time, Sam out.